What's up YouTube? How are you doing today? Chana D, your Techno Dad here to help you understand tech. And today's video we're going to cover how to set up a Plex server for your house and stream content to every room. And we're going to get into it right after the jump. And I'm back. Now, before we get started, if this is the kind of content you're looking for on YouTube, you should consider subscribing and hitting the bell notification so you don't miss a beat. Now that that's out of the way, let's get into it. Now, this could end up being a pretty long video, so I'm going to put up a timeline here, and you guys can kind of bounce around and fast forward to whatever part you're looking for, or you could just strap in and enjoy the ride, baby. Oh yeah. So what is Plex? Plex is a streaming service that allows you to stream your content to any room in your house. Now, there is a way to stream outside of your house, but that really depends on your internet upload speed, and then whichever location you're at depends on their download speed as far as quality is concerned. I have a lot of 1080p rips on a hard drive. If I try to go and watch it somewhere else, depending on the internet, it probably won't be 1080p. However, if you have a good internet infrastructure already in place in your house, chances are you'll get that full 1080p to whichever device in whichever room you're in. So for today, we're going to cover setting up Plex for your home, and I'll do a video about port forwarding and do a Plex for anywhere else later on. So now the second thing that we got to talk about is what you need equipment-wise to get your Plex server up and running. First, you need a computer with an attached external hard drive. Now, I know some of you out there might have an NAS already, a networked attached storage device, and that's how you move your content around or get content from your network. That's not really going to work in this situation, because if you have a bunch of full 1080p rips from actual Blu-rays, they're going to vary from 16 gigabytes to like 32, 35 on up. And what Plex does is it actually transcodes that original file and sends it to your device in a different format, something that's easier for it to handle. But it still keeps that 1080p quality, which is what you're going to want. And this is why an NAS just isn't going to work, because you need that processing power. Funny thing is, I already have all this stuff in place, so it's easy for me to go ahead and do this. I have a Mac Mini from 2012, which you can buy used for like $300, $400, $500. You can buy a new one for $500, but you're not going to get like full RAM and everything. But you poke around on eBay, you can definitely find one with 16 gigs of RAM, quad-core i7, 2012. There's plenty of them out there on the market. You want something basic, but this 2012 Mac Mini does have USB 3.0, and it does have HDMI out as well. So I have the Mac Mini, which is connected to my Denon receiver. I have a 3 terabyte USB 3.0 external hard drive attached to the Mac Mini. Also attached to the Mac Mini is my AC router. Now I have the Asus 87U AC2400 dual band router. Now, it's very important that you have a good router so it can actually transfer all that data from one room to the next. And you also want to make sure whatever computer you have that's being your media server, that should be connected via an Ethernet cable to your router. That's important. I first tried it Wi-Fi and it worked okay. Then, as I noticed with 1080p source file, especially in a 20 or 30 gigabyte size, the computer has to transcode and then send the signal to whatever room you're in. It's better if you have it connected to the router, and it's better if your router is an AC router. So that's like the basic setup. Okay, now every other device is connected normally. I do have all the TVs set up to stream using the faster band, which is like the 5G band on my router. So when covering all this equipment that I've got, I'm gonna go ahead and put a bunch of Amazon affiliate links down below. I'll give you what I have in my setup, and I'll give you some suggestions depending on your budget and price point and how much you want to spend, and try to set things up good for your Plex server. And if you decide on actually purchasing any of this stuff, please go ahead and use my affiliate links. It gives me a little bit of commission and pretty much helps the channel grow. So the router I'm using is the Asus 87U AC2400 dual band gigabit router. It's working out really well for streaming 4K content to all the rooms and all the different TVs I have. It was a little pricey. I think it's still around $180. I got mine on sale for like $160 at some point. Now, as far as external hard drives go, mine is some old 3 terabyte that I had just laying around. So I connected it up and started filling up the drive with movies. I specifically use this for movies, and we'll get into music and pictures in a little bit. So I was poking around on Amazon earlier today and found a 5 terabyte Seagate external hard drive, USB 3.0 with a power plug. One thing you want to make sure is whichever external hard drive you have, it's better to have a powered connection as opposed to being bus powered, so that you know that it stays on all the time and doesn't go to sleep. Now, if you don't know how to rip Blu-rays or DVDs, I'm going to do a quick tutorial about it using Make MKV, which works on both platforms, Mac and Windows. So if you're a Windows user, you can still use this tutorial. Also, I have a cool feature I kind of stumbled upon that's Mac specific, and that'll be at the end of the video as well. So now that we've covered the equipment, let's go ahead and set up this Plex server. See you in a second. All right, everybody, here we are upstairs. So quick stats on the computer. This is a 2012 Mac Mini, quad-core i7, 2.6 gigahertz, and 16 gigs of RAM. That's pretty much what this guy's running. It's not super fast, but it's enough to get the job done. So first thing we want to do is go to plex.tv right here. Okay, once you're there, you go to downloads. Here's the first thing that you need to do. Download Plex Media Server. Okay, then add your media, and then get apps and stream to any device. Seems fairly simple enough, right? Saying I'm on a Mac, obviously, OSX 10.9 or newer, and I believe I have 10.9.5, so we're good on that. Okay, so we do the download, open it up. Okay, it looks like we got a little Plex logo here. So once we launch the Plex app, we have got to sign in. I've already made an account. All right, so here we are in the main dashboard area. It's empty. Let's just come over here to add library, click on that. If you have your folders set up as movies, TV shows, music, photos, that's always a good way to go. I have 2 folders of movies. One of them is movies, and one of them is movies 1080p. So I'm gonna label this movies 1080p, go next, up here, browse for media folder, and I know exactly where it is. It's on the movie disk, and it is called movies 1080p. Okay, so we're gonna add that library, and here we go. It's looking for information online, and there we go. We got Alice in Wonderland, Adjustment Bureau. Now it's gotta process all these things. All right, so here we are now. It has found all the names and artwork. We are ready to stream to a different device. So let's do this, shall we? Now, if we're looking at the names, most of the names are good as far as what it's picked up. However, I labeled my Lord of the Rings LOTR1, LOTR2, and LOTR3. So I have to go back in and rename these guys so that it can, let's see, match. Here it is. The Lord of the Rings, the Fellowship of the Ring. Boom. So now it's downloading all the metadata for that. Boom. There we go. And so the same thing for this. Go here to match. Boom. There it is. Now loading the metadata. All right. There we are. So now we've got all of them here. I don't know why this is not in order. Whatever. All right. So we've got our 1080p movies set up. Okay. Now what we want to do is we want to pick up the remote for the LG, and we need to go to the LG content store. All right, and up top you got all these options. Up top is where we want to go to search, because that's what we want to do. Now we want to search for PLEX And here it is. Not X Play, but Plex. We go to install. Now, if you wanted to, you could install this on your Xbox One. I did that last night in the bedroom until I realized I could just do it on the LG in the bedroom. So now what we're gonna do is launch. Okay, so this is what we need to do. I already have an account. Go into plex.tv/link. Okay. Plex.tv/link. KRBT. Is that it? Yeah, KRBT. And link. Account linked. Fantastic. You go back to the Plex app. You're all set. Thank you for using Plex. There we go. So now the reason I'm doing it this way is that it comes up real quickly and I don't have to use the keyboard or mouse anymore to go through all these videos. And that was kind of like the pain in the butt. Yeah, I have the computer here at the TV and it's supposed to be like a home theater PC, but the issue is like my wife has problems using it. And she really loves the movie The Help. So now if she wants to watch it, she can just go into Plex and just turn it on. Look how cool this is. Look, we got the nice like color-coded background. We've got all the stats of the movie right here, 1080p, DTS digital surround, 5.1. It even has the info here, subtitles none. We got director, we got cast, unwatched, we got ratings, PG-13, we know it's 2011. We got all that cool stuff here. Now you have a play button, and then this one is mark as watch, delete, or go to movies. So let's go back out. One thing I do want to go over with Avatar. Now Avatar is one where you actually have to have forced subtitles, and I'll get into that when I show you how to rip the show. So this is streaming from the hard drive to the TV. You do here, yeah. So right here, press this button with these little lines and little circles. You get here, and subtitles, you want to click that and then go down to English PGS. Now that's not going to give you all the subtitles, that's just going to give you the forced subtitles for when they're speaking in that other language. I'll show you exactly how to do that in the ripping process, because it actually took me like 5 times ripping this movie to get it right. Pain in the butt, and like a, you know, just like a learning experience. All right, I'm gonna stop this. So this adds a really nice interface to your home theater PC, and you don't have to deal with keyboard and mouse. As you load up libraries, different libraries, you'll have them here. So they do have premium options. So they have this Plex Pass, and I think the cheapest way to go about it is $4.99 a month. Well, I mean, that's not really the cheapest. They have like a lifetime purchase of $120, which I guess is okay. I'm not sure you guys need it all, but you know, it's there if you want it. Right, what is going on, everybody? I am here at the big iMac down in my music studio. Just want to show you a couple things you need to rip your Blu-ray disc. I got this Pioneer Blu-ray burner from Amazon, 135 with Prime. It's a great burner. I've used it for burning even like 100 gigabyte discs. It's crazy. And this does what we needed to do for the ripping process. Second thing we need is we need to go over to makemkv.com, and then you just download which version you want, either the Windows or the Mac OS. Now let's put that away and let's get this John Wick Blu-ray into the disc player here. Now usually for like a 35 to 38 gigabyte disc, we're gonna need about an hour, hour and a half to rip this guy. So we need to go to MakeMKV. Now it does its initial read of the disc and gives us this little, you know, blurb of what's going on here. 44 gigabytes altogether. So it's a dual layer Blu-ray disc, and we need to click this here, and then it's going to scan all of the files on the disc, and it's going to like kind of skip anything that has a length of less than 120 seconds. See this down here? That's what it's doing. Because what we need to do is we need to tell MakeMKV which files we're gonna want. This looks like a pain in the butt. All right, so maybe I shouldn't have picked this one. What do we got here? We've got
so many different ones to choose from. It's usually you just pick let's just pick the one on top, shall we? So we're gonna go down and deselect everything here. Alright, so now we got all of those deselected. We want to go into this first one here, and usually the best audio codec is not checked, so you want to check that. I'm going to get rid of Spanish. As far as subtitles, I don't want English subtitles, but I want the English forced subtitles, which means if there's any like talking in a different language, then it's going to take care of that. Meaning you'll see the subtitles for that, but that's it. Okay, so here's what we got, and then we need to choose a destination. I'll go to the desktop for BD Rips and click open, and that's where the source, or that's where the destination will be. All right, let's do it. Make MKV. Here we go. All right, so we'll see what happens. Let's hope this works, and I'm going to stop the video now and go do some stuff and come back later. All right. All right, here we are. Looks like we had an elapsed time of an hour and 1 minute. Copy complete, one title saved. All right, let's go check it out. 30 gigs, that's always a good sign. VLC is the application I use to watch MKV movies. Yep, there we go. Good to go. So it's 30 gigabytes. I take it from this computer on a smaller hard drive, like a 200 gigabyte hard drive. Put it on there, then I go upstairs, put it on the external 3 terabyte hard drive up there. And all you need to do in Plex, once you put the file in the folder, is go to the library, you hit this button here and you do analyze, and then it'll analyze everything again.
So now all my libraries are loaded up and I can stream them to any room in the house via a TV's app, or my laptop or my iMac. I can just sign right in and start playing a movie. That's pretty cool. Considering I have a whole lot of movies, I don't really watch them all the time unless I'm in the living room. But now, like the situation that happened a couple weeks ago, we started watching a movie in the living room and boom, we can move it into the bedroom. Same 1080p quality. Of course, it doesn't get the big boom and clip sound system, but that's beside the point. As far as everything goes, it's great. So I got King Arthur the other day, the new movie, really great movie. I ripped the Blu-ray, put it onto the Plex server, watched it in the living room, and about 40 minutes into it, my wife got tired, so we moved to the bedroom, continued to watch it there till she fell asleep, and then I watched something else. It seems like it's really good. I even took one of the 4K TVs I have, put it into the guest room down here, started watching King Arthur for about 15 minutes just to see how well it works downstairs. Since the router and everything's upstairs, I still was able to get a nice, great looking 1080p signal, and it works. It works. Like I said, I only use this for movies, but this is on an iMac. Here's a cool tip for you guys wondering if there's a difference between Mac and PC. Here is the difference. If you go into your libraries, you've got your movies library, and above that, there's something called channels. Now, when we click on channels, I get 3 pictures or 3 tiles. 2 of them are for iTunes, and the other one is for iPhoto. So I click on the first tile, and it gives me everything I have there, music-wise, in iTunes. Now, this is like this computer I bought a while ago, and it was my old production computer before I got my iMac. And so I don't have too much music on there, but what little music I have on there shows up there. And I can play the music and stream it from the Plex app on my TV. Now going over to the second iTunes tile, that gave me everything in iTunes as far as movies. So if you're someone that has a whole bunch of movies downloaded through iTunes, you don't even need to set up a movie folder. All you have to do is go to channels and go to that second iTunes tile, and you get all the movies that you've downloaded and paid for on iTunes, and you can stream it right there using Plex. So now you're like cutting out your Apple TV. You don't even need that. And same with iPhoto. I went into iPhoto and found a whole bunch of pictures that I had on this computer. Went to my birthday, and here's some picture of me DJing on my birthday, and then my birthday dinner. And if you click on one photo, it'll just automatically start a slideshow. So that's also cool too. So that's one difference that I noticed with the Mac OSX. If you're on a Mac, you kind of cannot have a folder of all these movies, and you probably don't need to rip all these movies to a separate folder. If you just have your iTunes, where you have your whole hub of your movies, TV shows, and music, you can just sit there, go through Plex on your TV and play music, or go on your phone and go to Plex, play your music. You want to show somebody your pictures, you pull out your phone, go to the Plex app, show them your pictures from whatever that just happened to be on that computer. So there's your difference between Mac OSX and PC. So if you're already on a Mac and you already have all that stuff in iTunes, you're pretty much good to go. It's just download Plex and you're ready. Pretty simple, right? Now here's a tip that you probably didn't know. If you're poking around in the menus and the setup, you might have noticed this. There is a checkbox for partial scans. Early in the video, we ripped John Wick Blu-ray, right? And then I went looking through Plex app on the TV and did not find it there. Since I put another video in there, I have to scan the library again for it to kind of refresh, grab all the metadata, and make it available for viewing across all your other devices. Now, if you click a certain little checkbox in the setup, you don't have to do that. It runs a partial scan anytime new content is found in your folder. Isn't that cool? That's a tip you probably didn't know about, but everybody needs to know. So you're welcome, everybody. So like I said earlier, for me, I already had all this stuff in place. I've been doing this for a long time, ripping Blu-rays of mine, just because I don't want a huge amount of clutter in my living space. I want to be able to access all the movies I've purchased without having to go and grab a disc and put it in and know where the disc is. And if the kid didn't put the disc back in the right spot, then guess what? There's no disc to watch. There's no movie to watch. So I can get them all into the computer on the hard drive. And with Plex, now it's easily accessible from anyone in the house and anywhere. He can watch his stuff on his Xbox One in his bedroom. I just put a TV in the guest bedroom, and anyone can now go onto Plex and watch a movie. You know, if they're like tired or they went snowboarding, they're like, hey, I just kind of want to like mellow out. What can I watch? I'm like, oh, well, we have all these movies on Plex. You can just watch any of these and do whatever they want to. Or, like I said, the classic scenario, my wife wants to watch something. It's on the computer in the living room. We watch it. She gets tired, wants to watch it in the bedroom. Boom, boom, bam. Thank you, Plex. We can make it happen now. It is really convenient. Now, it is going to take some time. This is not like an easy thing to rip all these DVDs and Blu-rays. If you haven't started and you're not familiar with it, I've been doing it for years, but if you're not, I can see how it can be a daunting task. But like I said, you know, if you're on a Mac and you're already like entrenched in iTunes and Apple TV, you can get all your movies streaming from your Plex server into every room of your house without having to have an Apple TV in every room of your house. Pretty awesome, huh? I think it's awesome. Hopefully you do too. So I guess that kind of wraps it up. I mean, if you have a lot of digital content stored in one location and you want to be able to access all of it from multiple devices in your house, definitely check out Plex. And if you have any questions about setup or anything, you can always ask me down in the comments or ask me on Twitter or Facebook, whatever you like. Hit me up, I'm here for you. So that basically wraps up this video. If you liked it, go ahead, give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel using the button in the middle of your screen. Once again, my name is Chana D. I'm your Techno Dad, and I'll see you next time.